The countdown reached 0. Admiral Vex smiled as he watched his chronometer display the end of humanity's deadline. Around him, his officers prepared for the final phase of their operation. "Time is up," Vex announced to his fleet. "Begin the pacification. Target the outer colonies first. Make sure every species in the galaxy sees what happens to those who defy the Confederation." The massive guns of the Dominion's will began to rotate toward Colony 7. Energy built up in the weapon systems, preparing to turn a world of 3 million humans into molten rock. On Earth, Ambassador Li Wu stood before the cameras one last time. His face was calm now, no longer showing the desperate fear he had displayed for days. "People of the galaxy," he said quietly, "we tried to solve this peacefully. We offered compromise. We sought negotiation. But some minds cannot be changed with words." Admiral Vex laughed when he heard the transmission. "Still talking when they should be running. Fire the primary batteries. Let's end this nonsense." "Sir," his weapons officer said, "targeting Colony 7 now. Firing in 10 seconds. But," Li Wu was still speaking, "we want the galaxy to know that humanity never wanted this war. We hoped that reason would prevail, but we prepared for the possibility that it would not." 5 seconds to firing," the weapons officer announced. Li Wu's voice grew stronger. "Admiral Vex, you said we were insects. You said we should crawl back to our nest. You were wrong about one thing. Sir, firing now." The weapons officer suddenly stopped. His eyes went wide as he stared at his screen. "Admiral, something is wrong. My targeting computer just went dead." Vex spun around. "What? Do you mean dead?" Before the officer could answer, every screen in the command center flickered and changed. Instead of tactical displays, they now showed Li Wu's face. "We don't crawl back to our nest, Admiral," Li Wu said calmly. "We defend it." Suddenly, space above the Dominion's will began to ripple like water. The fabric of reality twisted and bent. Then, like a mountain rising from the sea, the heaven's fury materialized out of nothing. The alien ship was massive, but the human vessel dwarfed it completely. 30 miles long and 8 miles wide, its biomechanical hull pulsed with energy that hurt to look at directly. Weapon ports opened along its sides like the eyes of some ancient predator. The ship seemed alive, breathing, watching. "Impossible," Vex whispered. "Where did that come from?" His tactical officer's hands shook as he tried to get readings. "Sir, I can't scan it. Our sensors just show nothing. It's like the ship doesn't exist in normal space." On the bridge of the Heaven's Fury, Captain Han Sol looked down at the Yao alien fleet through his main screen. Around him, his crew worked with perfect coordination, connected to the ship through neural links that made them part of a single organism. "This is Captain Han Sol of the Earth vessel Heaven's Fury." His voice cut through every communication channel in the system. "Admiral Vex, you wanted our colonies. Instead, you're about to learn why humans conquered a death world." Major O. Bin stood in the Marine deployment bay, watching his soldiers prepare for battle. Each Marine wore armor that enhanced their natural abilities. Each carried weapons designed to exploit weaknesses in alien technology. They had trained for this moment since childhood. "Sir," one of his sergeants said, "the enemy fleet is trying to scatter." Bin smiled coldly. "Too late for that. Signal the hidden units. Spring the trap." Across the system, the human refugee ships suddenly came alive. Fake hull plating fell away, revealing weapon systems that gleamed with deadly purpose. Cargo. Holds opened, releasing swarms of fighter craft. Transport ships transformed into battle cruisers in a matter of minutes. Captain Nam Su's vessel was among the first to reveal its true nature. The old slow transport became a sleek predator bristling with guns. "All ships, this is Nam Su. The mask is off. Show them what we really are." 300 warships appeared from nowhere, surrounding the Confederation fleet completely. Ships that had been hiding in asteroid fields behind moons in the shadow of planets. The aliens found themselves trapped in the middle of a formation they had never seen coming. Admiral Vex stared at his tactical display in horror. Red markers filled the screen, showing enemy contacts on all sides. How is this possible? Where did they all come from? His intelligence officer's voice cracked as he spoke. "Sir, we've been monitoring these ships for days. Our records show them as civilian transports, cargo vessels, refugee ships." "Then your records are wrong," Vex shouted. "No, sir," the officer said quietly. "Our records were changed. Someone has been feeding us false information for years." On Earth, Commander Cho Min watched the confusion in the alien ranks with satisfaction. "Phase 3 complete," he reported to Admiral Park Hyun. "Enemy fleet surrounded and confused, beginning information warfare. Every alien ship suddenly lost contact with their command structure. Their communications were jammed. Their navigation systems showed false readings. Their targeting computers displayed human ships in the wrong locations." Dr. Kim Ara monitored the Heaven's Fury systems as they prepared for the demonstration. "Primary weapon charged and ready," she announced. "Biomechanical integration at 100%. The ship is eager to show what it can do." The Heaven's Fury turned its attention to the largest alien battleship, a vessel called the Iron Fist that had destroyed dozens of worlds. Energy built up in the human ship's primary weapon, creating a field that made space itself glow. "Target locked," reported Lieutenant Park Ji from the weapons console. "Ready to fire on your command, Captain." Han Sol looked at the alien ship on his screen. For a moment he thought about all the worlds it had burned, all the innocent people it had killed. "Fire," he said simply. The Heaven's Fury fired its primary weapon. But this wasn't like any weapon the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of energy or projectiles, it fired a beam that reached into the fundamental structure of reality itself. The Iron Fist didn't explode. It didn't burn. It simply stopped existing. One moment it was there, a massive ship with 10,000 crew members. The next moment there was nothing. Not debris, not energy, not even empty space. The weapon had erased the ship from reality completely. Silence filled the communication channels. Every alien ship stared at the space where the Iron Fist had been. Nothing remained, not even atoms. "That was our smallest weapon," Captain Hansol announced calmly. "Admiral Vex, would you like to see what our largest weapon can do?" Vex's voice shook when he finally managed to speak. What are you?" From hidden bases throughout the system, Admiral Park Hyun's voice answered him. "We are the children of Earth, Admiral. We are the descendants of predators who hunted across continents for thousands of miles. We are the species that learned to survive on a world that tried to kill us every day." Dr. Kim Ara added her own voice to the transmission. "We spent 300 years watching you, learning from you, preparing for you. Did you really think a species that survived ice ages and asteroid impacts would be helpless against bullies?" Around the alien fleet, human fighters began their attack runs. But these weren't normal fighter craft. Each pilot was connected to their ship through neural implants. They moved with impossible speed and precision, dancing between alien weapons like they could see the future. Captain Yoon Jae led his squadron in a perfect formation that no alien pilot could match. His fighters moved as one mind, coordinating attacks that overwhelmed the enemy's ability to respond. The galaxy watched in amazement as the human fleet revealed its true power. Species that had lived in fear of the Confederation for thousands of years saw their oppressors confused and outmatched. The trap was complete. The revelation was over. Now the real battle would begin. The massive alien ship hung in space like a metal mountain. Its dark hull stretched for miles, covered in weapon ports that could destroy entire planets. This was the Dominion's will, flagship of the Galactic Confederation fleet. Inside its command center, Admiral Vex studied the small blue planet on his screens. "Humans," he said with disgust. "Such a young species. They think they can claim space that belongs to us." On Earth, Ambassador Li Wu sat in the United Nations building, watching the same alien ship through his window. The people around him looked scared. They had good reason to be afraid. The Confederation controlled thousands of worlds. They had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Humanity had only been in space for 300 years. "Ambassador," said his aide, "they're sending another message." Li Wu nodded. He already knew what it would say. The same demands they had been making for weeks. The same threats. But this time would be different. This time there would be no more talking. The alien face appeared on the screen. Admiral Vex looked like a cross between a lizard and a shark. His yellow eyes showed no mercy. "Humans of Earth," Vex said, "you have 72 hours to remove all your people from every world beyond your home system. If you do not obey, we will remove them for you. We have been patient, but our patience is over." Li Wu stood up slowly. He had practiced this moment many times. "Admiral Vex, surely we can find a peaceful solution. Our colonies are small. They pose no threat to the Confederation." Vex laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Threat? You think we see you as a threat? You are insects. We are giving you a chance to crawl back to your nest. Do not waste it." Far from Earth, on a hidden base inside an asteroid, Admiral Park Hyun watched the same conversation. His command center was buried deep in rock, invisible to any scan. Around him, officers worked at stations that controlled the most advanced technology humanity had ever built. "Sir," said Captain Yoon-jae, "should we begin the countdown?" Park Hyun nodded. "Send the signal to all units. Operation Thunder begins now." Dr. Kim Ara received the signal in her laboratory. She looked at the massive shape hidden in the darkness around her. The Heaven's Fury was more than a ship. It was alive in ways the aliens could never understand. Its biomechanical systems pulsed, with energy that bent the laws of physics. "Are you ready, old friend?" she whispered to the ship. The ship's computer responded in a voice that sounded almost human. "All systems optimal, Dr. Kim. Weapons charged. Crew ready. Shall we show them what humanity can do?" Back on the Dominion's will, Admiral Vex was growing, impatient. "Well, human, what is your answer?" Li Wu looked directly into the camera. He thought about his wife and children, safe in the underground shelters. He thought about the millions of humans on the colony worlds, trusting him to protect them. Most of all, he thought about the secret he had kept for 10 years. "Admiral Vex," he said calmly, "we need time to organize the evacuation. There are 12 million humans on those worlds. Surely you can give us a few more days." Vex's eyes narrowed. "You have 72 hours, not 1 minute more. Use this time wisely, human. Prepare your people for transport, or prepare them for death." The transmission ended. Li Wu's aide looked at him with fear. "Sir, what do we do? We can't evacuate 12 million people in 3 days." Li Wu smiled for the first time in weeks. "Don't worry, we're not evacuating anyone." In space, the Confederation fleet began to move into position. 100 ships, each one capable of destroying a city. They formed a wall of metal and weapons between Earth and its colonies. Admiral Vex was confident. Humans were weak. They had no real weapons, no powerful ships. This would be easy. Captain Nam-Su piloted his transport ship through the asteroid field. To any watching alien, he looked like a scared human trying to hide. His ship was old and slow, barely armed, but inside the cargo hold, equipment hummed with deadly purpose. "Control, this is Refugee 1, he said into his radio. "Beginning evacuation run to Colony 7. "Copy, Refugee 1, came the reply. "Safe journey." Nam-Su smiled. The code words had been sent. Across human space, other ships received the same message. Ships that looked like transports but carried weapons that could crack moons. Ships that appeared on scanners as merchant vessels but held Marines trained for battles the aliens couldn't imagine. Dr. Kim Ara made her final checks. The Heaven's Fury was ready. Its weapons could reach across space and time. Its armor could turn solid matter into energy. Its crew was connected to the ship through neural links that made them move as one mind. "All stations report ready," said Captain Han Sol from the bridge. "Cloaking field stable. The enemy cannot see us." Park Hyun opened a channel to every hidden human ship. "Brothers and sisters," he said, "for 10 years we have prepared for this day. The aliens think we are weak because we avoided war. They think we are cowards because we spoke of peace. Today they learned the truth about humanity." The countdown began. 72 hours until the deadline. 72 hours until the galaxy discovered that humans were not the helpless prey they appeared to be. On Earth, children went to sleep in their beds, not knowing that tomorrow would change everything. On the colony worlds, families gathered in their homes, trusting that somehow they would be protected. In the hidden bases, weapons charged. In the secret factories, final preparations were made. Humanity had spent a decade preparing for this moment. They had studied their enemy, learned their weaknesses, and built weapons designed to exploit every flaw. The Confederation had ruled through fear for 10,000 years. They had crushed every species that opposed them. They had never faced an enemy like humanity. Admiral Vex settled into his command chair, confident in his victory. "Begin patrol patterns," he ordered. "Watch for any human tricks. Not that they have any." But deep in space, hidden by technology the Confederation couldn't detect, the heavens' fury waited. The ultimate weapon, built by a species that had learned to survive on a world that tried to kill them every day. A ship that was about to remind the galaxy why apex predators don't negotiate with their prey. The countdown continued. 71 hours and 59 minutes remaining. Commander Cho Min sat in the intelligence center, watching dozens of screens at once. Each screen showed a different part of the galaxy. Alien ships moving into position. Human colonies preparing for evacuation. Transport ships launching from hidden bases. To anyone watching, it looked like humanity was running scared. That was exactly what Cho Min wanted them to think. "Status report," he said to his team. "Phase 1 complete, sir," replied Lieutenant Park G. "All decoy signals are broadcasting. The aliens think our entire fleet is just cargo ships and transports." Cho Min nodded. For 5 years he had planted false information in Confederation databases. Ship registrations that made warships look like freighters. Fake cargo manifests, false crew records. The aliens thought they knew everything about human capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. On the bridge of his transport ship, Captain Nam-Su checked his instruments. His ship looked old and harmless from the outside. But hidden beneath fake metal plating were weapons that could punch through, alien armor like paper. His cargo hold was packed with military hardware disguised as household goods. "Confederation patrol coming up on our starboard side," his navigator warned. "Let them scan us," Nam-Su said calmly. "They'll see exactly what we want them to see." The alien ship was 3 times the size of Nam-Su's vessel. Its weapons could destroy his ship in seconds if they knew what they were really looking at. The scan beam passed over them like a searchlight. Inside the alien ship, the scanner operator looked at his readings. "Just another human transport, Captain. Cargo shows furniture, food supplies, and some machinery. All normal evacuation items." The alien captain barely glanced at the screen. "Pathetic. They're running like animals. Continue patrol." Nam-Su smiled as the alien ship moved away. If they had looked closer at those food supplies, they would have found plasma grenades. The furniture was actually portable shield generators. The machinery included targeting computers more advanced than anything the Confederation used. In his laboratory, Dr. Kang Bo made final adjustments to the cloaking system. His quantum phase technology didn't just hide ships from normal scanners. It made them exist in a slightly different dimension, invisible to every detection method the aliens possessed. "Cloaking field at maximum efficiency," he reported to Admiral Park Yun. The heavens' fury could fly right through their fleet and they wouldn't know it was there. Park Yun watched the alien formations through his screens. So confident, so sure of their power. They had no idea that the most dangerous predator in the galaxy was watching them from the shadows. Back on Earth, Ambassador Li Wu appeared on every news channel. His face showed just the right amount of fear and desperation. "My fellow humans," he said, "I am doing everything in my power to negotiate with the Confederation. Perhaps we can find a peaceful solution." Behind him, his aide looked genuinely worried. Li Wu had not told him about the real plan. The fear on the aide's face was real, which made the performance more convincing. On the Dominion's will, Admiral Vex watched the human broadcast with amusement. "Look at them beg," he said to his officers. "This is why the Confederation rules the galaxy." We understand that weakness must be crushed. His tactical officer pointed at the scanner display. Sir, we're detecting increased human ship movement, but it's all civilian traffic. Evacuations beginning on the outer colonies. Vex nodded. As expected, they know they cannot fight us, so they run. Continue monitoring. Make sure none of their little ships carry weapons. What the aliens didn't know was that civilian traffic included 300 warships disguised as cargo vessels. Each one carried crew members who had trained for this moment their entire lives. Men and women who had studied every weakness in Confederation technology. Captain Yoon Jae led a squadron of refugee ships past an alien patrol. His vessel looked like it was packed with families fleeing their homes. In reality, it carried 50 fighter craft hidden in modified cargo bays. His pilots sat at their controls ready to launch at a moment's notice. Confederation cruiser requesting to board us for inspection, his communications officer reported. Let them come, Yoon Jae said. Show them what they expect to see. The alien boarding party consisted of 4 soldiers and 1 officer. They stomped through the ship's corridors, weapons ready, expecting to find scared civilians. Instead, they found families with children, old people, and medical patients on stretchers. What they didn't notice were the hidden compartments, the false walls, the combat armor disguised as medical equipment, the weapons concealed inside luggage, and supply crates. All clear, the alien officer reported back to his ship. Just refugees, no weapons, no military equipment. As the aliens left, a small girl waved goodbye to them. Under her stuffed animal was a device that could hack any computer system in the galaxy. The medical patients were actually special forces, soldiers gathering intelligence on alien ship designs. Dr. Kim Ara monitored the aliens' communications from her hidden position. The Heaven's Fury had sensors that could detect conversations from light years away. She listened to their confident chatter, their casual dismissal of human capabilities. They have no idea, she said to Captain Han Sol. They think our ships are primitive because that's what we showed them for 300 years. Han Sol studied the tactical display. The alien fleet was positioning itself perfectly for what was coming. They're forming up exactly as we predicted. All their strongest. Ships in the front line? Of course they are, Kim Ara replied. They want to make a show of force. They want the entire galaxy to see human colonies being destroyed. Instead, they're about to star in a very different kind of show. Commander Cho Min received reports from agents across the galaxy. Humans who had posed as traitors, diplomats, and refugees for decades. They had studied alien technology, mapped their bases, and identified their weaknesses. The Confederation thought they were isolated incidents. They had no idea it was all part of a single massive intelligence operation. Sir, one of his agents reported, we've confirmed the alien fleet composition. No significant changes from our projections. Good, Cho Min said. They're still using the same tactics they've used for 1,000 years. They never needed to adapt because no one ever challenged them effectively. As the hours passed, more evacuation ships moved through space. Each one carried enough firepower to level a city. Each crew was trained to perfection. Each ship was equipped with technology the aliens had never seen before. The Confederation patrols grew lazy. They saw what they expected to see, a defeated enemy running away. They stopped doing detailed scans. They stopped checking manifests carefully. They began treating the human ships as harmless background traffic. That was exactly what humanity wanted. Captain Nam-Su reached his assigned position, deep in the asteroid field between Earth and its colonies. Around him, hundreds of other ships did the same. From space, it looked like a refugee convoy seeking shelter. In reality, it was the largest battle fleet humanity had ever assembled. All units in position, he reported to Admiral Park Hyun. Park Hyun looked at his master display. Every piece was in place. The aliens were exactly where they needed to be. The Heaven's Fury was powered up and ready. Human forces were positioned throughout the system, invisible and waiting. 48 hours remaining, he announced to his commanders. Phase 2 begins now. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology. It wasn't their hidden ships or secret bases. It was their ability to make their enemies believe they were something they were not. The Confederation had ruled, through superior force for 10 millennia. They were about to face an enemy that had mastered something far more dangerous, the art of appearing weak when you are strong. The battle erupted across the entire star system. Human fighters swarmed from the heavens' fury like angry wasps, their pilots moving with speed that seemed impossible. Each fighter was connected to its pilot through neural links, making human and machine work as one mind. Captain Yunjae led his squadron through the alien formation. His fighter twisted and turned between enemy fire, dancing through space in patterns that no computer could calculate. Behind him, his pilots followed with perfect coordination. "Target their weapon systems first," he commanded through the neural link. "Disable, don't destroy, we want prisoners." The alien ships tried to track the human fighters, but they were too fast, too unpredictable. Confederation pilots had trained to fight predictable enemies who followed standard tactics. They had never faced pilots who could think faster than their computers. On the bridge of the Heaven's Fury, Dr. Kim Ara watched her ship come alive for battle. The biomechanical systems pulsed with energy as the vessel adapted to combat conditions. Armor plates shifted and strengthened. Weapon systems evolved and improved. The ship was learning from each hit it took and each shot it fired. "Neural integration at maximum," she reported to Captain Han Sol. "The ship is performing beyond all projections. It's actually getting stronger as the battle continues." Han Sol nodded, feeling the ship's consciousness touch his mind through the neural link. The Heaven's Fury was more than a weapon. It was a living being created from human science and alien technology, hungry for battle after years of hiding. Admiral Vex tried desperately to regain control of his fleet. Half his ships couldn't communicate with each other. Their weapon systems were being jammed by technology he didn't understand. Worst of all, the human fighters were everywhere, striking with surgical precision. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost contact with 30 ships. The humans are targeting our command and control systems specifically." "Return fire," Vex screamed. "Use everything we have." The Confederation ships opened fire with every weapon they possessed. Energy beams and missile volleys filled space with deadly light. But the human ships moved like they could see the attacks, coming before they were fired. Captain Namsu's disguised battleship revealed its true firepower. What had looked like cargo containers opened to reveal particle beam cannons that could slice through the heaviest armor. His ship's computer systems, enhanced with human creativity, found weaknesses in alien shield technology that no scanner had ever detected. "Direct hit on their command cruiser," his weapons officer reported. "Their shields are down to 20%. "Good," Namsu replied. "Target their engines next. We want them alive for questioning." Across the battle zone, human ships demonstrated technology that seemed impossible. Shields that could turn solid matter into energy. Weapons that fired bullets through folded space. Engines that moved ships faster than light without using jump drives. Major O. Bin prepared his Marines for the boarding action. His soldiers wore armor that enhanced their natural strength and speed. Each Marine carried weapons designed specifically to fight in the close confines of alien ships. "Remember," he told his troops, "we're not here to kill everyone. We need information about their empire. Take prisoners when possible, but don't take risks with your own lives." The Marines launched from the Heaven's Fury in assault pods that looked like metal teardrops. The pods moved through space with impossible speed, weaving between alien weapons, fire, like they were guided by invisible hands. Admiral Park Hyun coordinated the battle from his hidden command center. His tactical display showed every ship, every fighter, every weapon in the system. But what made him truly dangerous was his understanding of alien psychology. "They're trying to retreat to their jump point," he observed. "Commander Cho Min, activate the gravity wells." Hidden throughout the system, human devices came online. They created artificial gravity fields that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The Confederation fleet was trapped, unable to escape even if they wanted to. Dr. Kangbo's cloaking technology proved its worth as human ships appeared and disappeared at will. Alien gunners would lock onto a target, only to watch it vanish before they could fire. The humans could attack from any direction at any time. "Sir?" an alien communications officer reported to Admiral Vex. 3 more ships have gone dark. The humans are boarding them. Vex felt sweat running down his face despite the climate control in his ship. This wasn't how wars were supposed to work. The stronger force was supposed to win. Superior numbers and firepower always prevailed. But the humans were rewriting the rules of combat. On the alien battleship Stormbringer, Major Bin's Marines had breached the hull. They moved through the corridors like deadly shadows, their enhanced reflexes allowing them to react faster than any alien soldier. The Confederation Marines tried to fight back, but they had never faced enemies like this. Humans who could think and move faster than their weapons could track. Soldiers who seemed to know where attacks were coming from before they happened. Corridor 7 secured, Bin reported through his neural link. Moving toward their command center. Resistance is lighter than expected. That was because the aliens had never needed to train for boarding actions. For 10,000 years, they had been the ones doing the attacking. They had no experience defending their own ships. The Heaven's Fury fired its primary weapon again, this time at a Confederation dreadnought that was trying to target human civilian colonies. The reality-tearing beam reached across space and simply deleted the enemy ship from existence. But this time, the weapon did something new. Instead of just erasing the target, it left behind a field of twisted space that damaged nearby alien ships. The biomechanical systems had learned from the first shot and improved the weapon's effectiveness. Dr. Kim Ara watched in amazement as her ship continued to evolve. "Captain, the primary weapon just upgraded itself. The ship is adapting faster than I thought possible." Captain Hansol felt the ship's satisfaction through their neural link. The Heaven's Fury had been built to learn and grow stronger. Each battle made it more dangerous than before. Captain Yunjae's fighters had disabled most of the alien point defense systems. Now the larger human ships could move in for the kill. But instead of destroying the enemy vessels, they used precise weapons to disable engines and life support, forcing surrenders. "This is Captain Yunjae to all Confederation vessels," he broadcast. "You are surrounded and outmatched. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be met with overwhelming force." Some alien ships tried to fight to the end. Others, seeing the hopeless situation, began to surrender. The human fleet accepted both outcomes with equal efficiency. Admiral Vex realized that his mighty fleet was being systematically dismantled by an enemy he had completely underestimated. Ships that should have been helpless were demonstrating technology beyond anything in Confederation databases. "How is this possible?" he asked his intelligence officer. "Our scouts reported that human ships were primitive. Their weapons were centuries behind ours." The intelligence officer looked at his data with growing horror. "Sir, I think they've been lying to us for decades. Everything we know about human capabilities appears to be false." Commander Cho Min smiled as he watched alien ships surrender one by one. "Phase 4 complete," he reported to Admiral Park Hyun. "Enemy fleet neutralized. Beginning intelligence gathering operations." The battle was over, but the war was just beginning. Humanity had revealed its true power to the galaxy. Now every species would have to decide which side they wanted to be. The Confederation had ruled through fear and superior technology, but they had never faced an enemy that had spent centuries preparing for exactly this moment. An enemy that had learned their weaknesses and built weapons specifically designed to exploit them. The age of Confederation dominance was ending. The age of humanity was about to begin. The Confederation fleet tried to retreat, but their jump drives refused to work. Human gravity wells held them in place like insects in amber. Admiral Vex watched his tactical display fill with red warning lights as ship after ship reported system failures, sir, his communications officer said with a shaking voice. "The humans are jamming everything. I can't even contact our own ships." Vex slammed his fist on his command chair. "Impossible. Our encryption is unbreakable. Our systems are hardened against any attack." Commander Cho Min laughed from his hidden position as he watched alien ships struggle with their compromised computers. For 20 years, his agents had been planting backdoors in Confederation technology. Every upgrade, every software patch, Every new system had human code hidden inside it. They built their entire fleet using our modified components, he explained to his staff. We didn't just hack their ships, we helped build them. Major Obin led his Marines through the corridors of the Dominion's will. The alien crew fought, desperately, but human soldiers moved like deadly machines. Enhanced reflexes, superior training, and weapons designed specifically for close combat made the outcome certain. Bridge secured, Obin reported as his troops surrounded Admiral Vex. Primary target captured alive. Vex stared at the human soldiers in their advanced armor. Each Marine looked like they could tear apart a battle tank with their bare hands. Their weapons hummed with energy that made his skin crawl. "What are you?" he whispered. Obin removed his helmet, revealing a face that looked perfectly human. "We're what happens when a Death World species decides to get serious about war, Admiral." On other captured ships, human teams were gathering intelligence at an incredible rate. They didn't just interrogate prisoners. They downloaded entire databases, copied communication logs, and extracted navigation charts that showed every Confederation base in the galaxy. Captain Nam Su supervised the boarding of the alien command cruiser Iron Talon. His soldiers moved through the ship like they owned it, disabling security systems and collecting data with surgical precision. "Sir," one of his officers reported, "we've accessed their strategic database. You need to see this." Nam Su looked at the alien data files on his portable screen. Fleet positions, defensive plans, resource locations, and most importantly, a complete list of species that the Confederation had conquered or destroyed. "Send this to Admiral Park Hyun immediately," he ordered, "and prepare a transmission to every world in their territory. It's time the galaxy learned some truth." Dr. Kim Ara monitored the Heaven's Fury as it continued to evolve. The ship's biomechanical systems had learned from every aspect of the battle. Its weapons were now more accurate, its shields more efficient, its engines faster. "The ship is already designing improvements to itself," she reported to Captain Han Sol. "At this rate, it will be twice as powerful within a month." Han Sol felt the ship's satisfaction through their neural link. The Heaven's Fury had been built to grow stronger through combat. Every battle would make humanity's ultimate weapon more dangerous. Admiral Park Hyun opened communication channels throughout the galaxy. His message reached every world, every species, every government that had lived under Confederation rule. "People of the galaxy," he began, "today you witness the end of an era. For 10,000 years, the Confederation has ruled through fear and violence. They claimed they brought order to chaos. They said they protected weak species from themselves. Images appeared on screens across 100 worlds. Confederation files showing the truth about their empire. Records of genocide, slavery, and destruction that had been hidden for millennia. The truth is different," Park Hyun continued. "They destroyed any species that refused to submit. They enslaved entire worlds to feed their war machine. They turned the galaxy into a prison where only the strong could survive." Captain Yoon Jae landed his fighter in the Heaven's Fury's hangar bay. Around him, other pilots were returning from the battle. Not a single human fighter had been lost. The aliens hadn't even come close to hitting them. "Debrief in 1 hour," he told his squadron. "Then we prepare for the next phase. This was just the beginning." His pilots nodded. They knew that destroying one Confederation fleet wouldn't end the war. There were thousands of other ships scattered across the galaxy, but now those ships would be fighting an enemy they didn't understand. Commander Cho Min began Phase 5 of the operation. Human agents who had been hiding throughout Confederation space for decades suddenly revealed themselves. They took control of communication networks, broadcasting the truth about their government to every world. On the planet Ketha Prime, the Confederation governor watched in horror as his own security forces turned against him. Half of his guards were human agents who had been waiting for this moment for years. On the industrial world of Vortex 7, human engineers who had been secretly sabotaging weapon production for a decade now openly took control of the factories. The Confederation's war machine ground to a halt as vital supplies stopped flowing. Admiral Vex found himself in a holding cell aboard the Heaven's Fury. Through the transparent wall, he could see human technicians studying captured Confederation equipment. They dismantled alien weapons with the casual efficiency of children taking apart toys. "You can't win," he told Major O'Bin. The Confederation has 1 million ships, billions of soldiers, thousands of worlds. O'Bin sat down across from the alien, Admiral. Tell me, Vex, how many of those ships use components built in factories we've been infiltrating for 20 years? How many of those soldiers carry weapons with software we helped design? How many of those worlds have human agents in key positions? Vex's face went pale as he realized the scope of humanity's deception. Impossible. We would have detected such a massive operation. Would you? O'Bin asked. You detected 300 transport ships that turned out to be battlecruisers. You detected a civilian evacuation that was actually a military deployment. You detected refugee families that were special forces teams. Dr. Kim Ara received reports from human ships throughout the system. Every captured alien vessel was being stripped of useful technology. But more importantly, they were gathering intelligence about Confederation military doctrine, strategic planning, and weaknesses. We've learned more about their capabilities in 6 hours than our spies gathered in 10 years, she reported to Admiral Park Hyun. They've been using the same tactics for so long that they've become predictable. Park Hyun nodded. Prepare the data packages for transmission to all human fleets. Every ship, every base, every agent needs to know what we've learned here. Captain Nam-Su stood on the bridge of the captured alien dreadnought. His engineers were already modifying its systems, integrating human technology with Confederation hardware. Within days, this ship would be fighting for humanity instead of against it. Sir, his tactical officer reported, we're receiving surrender signals from the remaining alien ships. They want to negotiate. Nam-Su smiled coldly. Tell them we don't negotiate with terrorists. They can surrender unconditionally or be destroyed. Those are their only options. The message went out to every surviving Confederation ship in the system. One by one, they powered down their weapons and prepared to be boarded. Their crews had seen what happened to ships that tried to fight. Major O'Bin began interrogating captured alien officers. But he wasn't looking for military secrets. He wanted to understand how the Confederation maintained control over so many worlds, how they recruited soldiers from conquered species, how they justified their actions to themselves. You really believe you're the good guys, don't you? He asked one alien captain. The alien looked confused. Of course, we bring order to chaos. We protect the galaxy from itself. By destroying anyone who disagrees with you? By maintaining peace through strength. Weak species cannot govern themselves. They need guidance. O'Bin shook his head. And you never wondered what gave you the right to make that decision for everyone else? The alien had no answer. Like most Confederation citizens, he had never questioned the basic assumptions of his society. The idea that other species might be equals was literally unthinkable to him. As the last alien ship surrendered, Admiral Park Hyun opened a channel to the entire galaxy. His message reached every world, every species, every government that had ever feared the Confederation. The fleet that came to destroy our colonies has been captured or destroyed, he announced. Every ship, every weapon, every piece of technology is now in human hands. But this is not about conquest. This is about justice. Images filled screens across the galaxy. Alien prison camps being liberated by human forces. Slavery operations being shut down. Worlds that had been strip-mined for resources finally free to rebuild. The Confederation claimed they brought peace to the galaxy, Park Hyun continued. They brought only fear and oppression. Today, that changes. Today we begin building a galaxy where strength serves justice, not the other way around. The reckoning had begun. For 10,000 years, the Confederation had ruled through superior force. Now they faced an enemy that was not only stronger, but had spent decades preparing for exactly this war. The galaxy would never be the same.